So often in trading, we see the setups clearly after they've completed, after the trade has run its course. But my goal has always been in trading is to train my eye to be able to see setups as they are forming or just before they form so that I can actually participate in them. So here what we have is a 1 hour chart, and this is a 1 hour chart of a couple of days price action starting on Wednesday, January 21st here. I'll show you a little bit more. Okay, starting on Wednesday, January 21st here. This is the pre-market here. This is the actual New York session here. And then the pre-market on the 22nd. And then here's the actual New York Thursday, January 2nd, New York session with the white background and then this light purple background again. Friday morning, early pre-market work, and then Friday New York session here. So what I kind of noticed about this, now this is a 1 hour chart. I don't typically trade on a 1 hour chart. I trade on a 15-minute chart, but I'm trying to get pull back a little, get a little bit wider perspective here about how to pick up on patterns before they occur, not after they're already complete. So anyway, just lock this into your mind. I think what you can see here is you can see a strong um, I think you can see a strong trending up until we reach this top here, and then we can see, gradually price retracing and retreating back to the downside. When I look at this on a 15-minute chart, the same price action, a couple things become a little bit more, patterns become a little bit more apparent. For example, I think we pointed out earlier that we could describe this as a head, okay? And we could describe these as the shoulders, okay? And then I coined a new term called the elbows, which I'm calling these areas, this one and this one. Now, this particular elbow turned out to be a pretty good trade based on the type of criteria that we are often looking at. For example, what I mean by that is these are 15-minute candles, and we have been originally we kind of found these because we were looking at the setup occurring on the 1030 macro, okay? And oftentimes what we noticed is that the 1015 candle would be a nesting, a completion of a nesting process whereby you have a push up above the 200, a pullback to it through the 945 and 10 a.m. candles, which would then stabilize, and then the 1015 candle would begin to move in the proper direction, concurrent with the larger trend, okay, which is up here. And then the 1030 candle would be the entry point, and this is a pattern that I saw occurring, playing out over and over, and I brought it to your attention, and you kind of told me, yeah, it's 1030 is a good time to trade because it's sort of, you shake out a lot of the retail traders in the first hour, run all their stops, exhaust them, and then accumulate their contracts for the additional continuation of the greater trend, whichever that happens to be. So basically what was happening here, I guess if you follow that logic, is that this big spike, which I actually caught at the open, which is great because I was trading this candle here, this strong, there was news here and there was news here, and this finished above a, I guess this was this was a supply wall that we had priorly identified this area as a supply wall, and then when we finished above with this particular 9:15 a.m. candle, I bought the 9:30 open and I wrote it for about 100 points up and sold. So I didn't trade anymore that day, but this particular day's price action did follow the pattern of a strong push up, which probably trapped a lot of longs, a major pullback, 10 a.m. news, which probably trapped some people here and shorting because we wicked down sharply and then came back up, and then we kind of completed this process of I guess you could say expansion phase. If this was the consolidation phase and this was the expansion phase, then the phase 3 would be the trend, and that's this section here. So the 1030 candle was the beginning of the trend, which kind of went for the next 2 hours, 2.25 hours. So anyway, the kind of trade we've been talking about a lot is the 1030 candle, trading that if the setup for the first 4 candles, 9:30, 9:45, 10 a.m., and 10:15, kind of gave us a pattern of a push, a pullback, and a continuation, like indication, correction, continuation type trade. So anyway, I guess my point is that we started off by just saying I was just only going to trade 1030, but then I started seeing things happening at other time frames. Like, for example, Friday morning, I logged on kind of early, and I did see this particular pattern here, which was a push down, and then a retrace back up to the line here, and then a red formation here that completed red, and then a nice little push down here, and that would be a trade. And then we kind of talked about the fact that it could be seen as a double top, where price drifted back up to the line again, put in a very small compressed candle here, and then a continuation to the downside here with this candle was confirmed, which could then mean I could enter this candle here, which then turned out to be a very, very, very nice push down and a very nice trade. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the trade here kind of in a way mirrored this price action up. So you had a head here, up here, you had shoulders here, and what I call elbows here, and the elbows represented the top of this move up and the top of this move down. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I want to look for symmetry in the market going forward, so that I can see, hey, there was this really nice push up here. I wonder if that'll be mirrored on the way back down, because in this case it really was, right? It really was. This was a substantial push up here. This whole push up here, right? So wouldn't it be prudent to keep an eye on these levels? And what I did here is I put in a lilac shaded box, okay, right here. It kind of captured this move, so that when I was on the other side, I could say, okay, this lilac shaded, this light purple shaded box could be representing the top and the bottom of a really nice move. So if we found a pattern that fits our criteria, right, whereby you're in a downtrend, you have a pullback to the 1 minute 200. The first one doesn't really go too far, but that doesn't mean you can't get the next pullback, okay, which results in a color change to a red candle, finishes red, 15-minute candle finishes red. Then that could represent another entry, which you would take here, and your lilac box, okay, which ends kind of like down in this section, kind of shows you where the bottom of that move could be. So that's the idea. It's like, hey, how can we analyze larger time frames encompassing a couple of 2-3 days to see where the big strong moves up were that could be potentially be mirrored in a big strong move down, and our signal to enter is the signal we've been using, is the pullbacks to the 1 minute 200 and finding 15-minute candles that hit that 200 and then color change. In this case, it took a couple times of doing that, but the second one really worked out. So that is something that I'm just thinking out loud about, just wanting to analyze and make sure that I know where these sections are, so that if a mirror move wants to happen, that I'm aware of that there is, some thin air there, so to speak, some clean traffic, I think it's been referred to, clean traffic as something that could be mirrored on the way down. Okay, that's it for now.